Hello. Here is always the most frantic part. Can people hear me? Is the sound all good? If you can let fly off in the comments and let me know if the sound is good. I'm going to assume so right now. Yeah, good. Let's start the show that way. Hello. Yes, it's good. Thank you, Eric. Thank you very, very much. Natalie, yes, it's all good. Okay, 5x5. Good. Hello. I promised I would be very respectful of your time, so I'm gonna start flying through this. So, thank you for coming on in. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. There's probably a great episode rerun of Frasier or Friends you could be watching. You've decided to come here, so thank you for watching. I'm also gonna try to look directly at the camera. Okay, let's do this. All right. This is gonna be about the total solar eclipse coming to Montreal on Monday, April 8th. So this is, I'm going to tell you everything you kind of need to know, a real crash course. And I promised I would do it all in 20 minutes. And then if you have questions, I will go through the chat and I will put them up here and I will try to answer them for you. My name's Trevor. Maybe some of you already know that. I run a little company here in Montreal called Plateau Astro. I'm just going to do a minute of promo and then we'll get right into it. I promise. Plateau Astro started in the Plateau. Shocker. I'm in Rosemont now, but the company's still called Plateau Astro. So I do workshops, public workshops for people to learn more about space and astronomy. I also do videos sometimes with CBC. You can tell it's me because I'm doing my hands like this, just like in the thumbnail there. It also has the CBC GEM logo there, so you know it's kind of legit. I used to work at the Canadian Space Agency with our nation's finest. Here is David St. Jacques, nice guy. Here is the next person to go to the moon, Jeremy Hansen. He does actually look like Buzz Lightyear in real life. Other things I do presentations in schools, en anglais et en français. So if you need any presentations about space or astronomy in your classroom, hey, I'm available. This is my job. This is what I do. I bring styrofoam balls around light bulbs and I teach kids different concepts, adults too. The other thing, last bit of promo, is a new thing I'm starting in 2024 and starting now is a mobile planetarium. So a mobile inflatable planetarium. I set it up in your gym and it looks like this. It looks like a bouncy castle. Don't bounce around in this thing. There's a lot of fragile stuff in here, but I can do really cool shows explaining different concepts in a planetarium style show. So I come to your place, to your gym. You don't have to bust the kids off to the planetarium, which is still great. But if you're looking for something like that, really cool visuals, show about the solar system, and we fly to different planets using a game controller. Super fun. A show teaching about the night sky. I point to things a lot, I suppose. And I have one specifically for the solar eclipse in Montreal. So if you want a cool way to teach your students, any ages really, like ages like grades 1 to high school, all the way to old people, about the eclipse in Montreal, you can do this in a planetarium that I can bring to your location. And I go through and I walk through what the eclipse will look like here in Montreal, even with Montreal scenery, and I go step by step. And I'll even show some of the scenery I'll be using tonight. So if you want any more information, you can go to plateauash.com. I have a link in my mobile planetarium up at the nav. You can go click there. Last thing, if you want to support my work, because this is my full-time job and it's a bit of a unique job, you can buy Eclipse glasses. You're going to need Eclipse glasses for this. So I sell them. They're ISO certified. I have a little certificate saying that they are safe. I've used them for years. They're great. So you can go to plateauash.com/shop and you can buy them in singles, which makes it sound like Kraft singles cheese, but whatever. Or you can buy them in bulk. So if you need a big bulk order, you can let me know. Some schools have asked, can I buy 17,000 from you? I don't have that many, but I have a couple hundred that I can sell. So yeah. Last thing, if you want to support me, I do have a Patreon. I post neat little stories and blog posts just for supporters there. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have a link in the description. And of course, I feel so weird saying this, but if you want to support me on YouTube, you can subscribe and you can like and you can do all that stuff. I hear it does actually work if I say that. Okay, promo done. Let's get to it. I said I'd be able to do this in 20 minutes. It's 8:06 now. By 8:26, you can leave, but you can stick around for some questions. Okay, total solar eclipse coming to Montreal Monday, April 8th in the afternoon. I'll start with why you should care. why you should care about this thing. The last time that this happened was a while ago. The economy was doing great. It was 1932. So the last time a total solar eclipse came to Montreal was almost 100 years ago. It's been a long, long time that's come over Montreal. The next time it's going to happen is the year 2106. And frankly, you're probably not going to be here for it. So the one coming in April is probably going to be the only time in Montreal you're going to get to see a total solar eclipse. Okay. So this is a rare event, but you've probably heard that before. You've probably heard a lot of clickbaity sort of news headlines. So like, once in a lifetime event, you're going to see this meteor shower or this super moon or whatever, You've probably heard a lot of that clickbait. This one, I swear, it does live up to the hype. Okay. What you're going to see is something you're going to remember for the rest of your life. You probably forgot about many super moons many times before. This you are actually going to remember. I'm going to go in detail what we're actually going to see, but basically you're going to be able to see the moon block out the sun in the middle of the day, and it's going to go dark in the middle of the day. It's going to be very strange. It's going to be very memorable. You're going to remember it for the rest of your life. I've been to two, and it's been cloudy both times. More about that in a bit. And even then, it's still been one of the most memorable experiences of my life. This is going to be bonkers insane. I almost need to lie down talking about it. Okay. Hopefully I convinced you a little bit there. Okay. When is this going to happen? Okay. As I said before, Monday, April 8th. Okay. It starts at 2:14 p.m. Okay. That's when the moon first starts blocking it out. The totality is about an hour and some change later. It's 3:26 p.m. This is the moment the moon fully blocks out the sun. And this is the moment we kind of all wait for. After that, that's when the show kind of winds down, but the dorks might stick around. The eclipse ends about another hour and some change later. So this whole thing lasts about 2.5 hours or so, but those are the times. Okay. Here is my question to you. Is this in your calendar? Is this in your calendar? If it is not, put this, don't leave the video, don't do it, but put this in your calendar right now. Okay. Make sure your boss doesn't have an all hands on deck meeting or anything like that. Put this in your calendar. Okay. Do it. Okay. Is it in your calendar? Yes. Okay. That's the time. That's the important times. Okay. What is a solar eclipse? Okay. It feels like kind of backtracking. I should have started with this, but I'll show you why. Okay. What is a solar eclipse? You've probably heard of two different types of eclipses before. Okay. We've had a few of these for the last few years here in Montreal. We've had some lunar eclipses here in Montreal. And this is where the moon during the night turns red. Okay. We've been kind of lucky in Montreal, frankly, the last couple of years with seeing these. This is a photo I took back in November 2022. Solar eclipse happens, you guessed it, during the day and involves the sun. Okay. Here's kind of a basic diagram of what's happening here. We have the sun, and I'll actually make this bigger and me smaller. Okay. We have the sun, we have the earth, and we have the moon. Okay. And the moon goes around the earth. Okay. It takes about a month for it to go around. And some months, not all months, but some months, all three of these, the earth, moon, and sun, all perfectly line up. So perfectly, I guess I made a slide for it here, perfectly line up. And from our perspective here on Earth, it looks kind of like this, okay? The moon blocking out the sun. This is an illustration. This isn't real imagery. The moon blocking it out, and it gets dark because the moon blocks out the sun. That's kind of the basics of a solar eclipse. Now let's take this a little bit further. What is a solar eclipse? Okay, the moon blocking out the sun. Where is this one going to happen? Okay, let's take a little different point of view here. Where is this going to happen? In this illustrative image coming up, you're going to see a globe with a light bulb, okay? And you're going to see one of my styrofoam balls here in a second. The Earth is going to represent the Earth, the light bulb, the sun, and the styrofoam bulb is going to be the moon. This is not to scale. Okay, let me make this a bit bigger and me smaller, okay? So the moon goes around the Earth, okay? And when they all line up, the moon makes a shadow on the Earth, okay? Not everywhere on Earth, but just this specific point, this specific point, okay? Can you see that there? It's kind of making a shadow behind the styrofoam ball, Okay? And I'll illustrate it here too. It makes this shadow on a specific part of the Earth. And we call this, you've probably heard this a lot of times before, the path of totality. You're going to keep on hearing this over the next few months. You're going to be sick of the words. Okay. The path of totality. This is the part of the Earth where the total eclipse is visible. It's the only part of the Earth that you'll see the moon fully block out the sun. You need to be in that red part in order to get the full experience of the total solar eclipse. Path of totality, only visible there. Here's another animation that I made. This is the Earth. Okay, there's a big orange sort of circle. If you're anywhere in there, you'll get a little bit of the eclipse. But if you're in the red zone, and maybe that's not showing up on the image there, so maybe I should have zoomed in, but lesson learned. If you're in that red part, you'll get the full experience. Of course, there's not going to be a red dot moving over the face of the Earth on April 8th. This is just an illustration. Okay, here's another way to look at it. The eclipse map. And let's make me just a little bit bigger here. Okay, the eclipse map. Another way we can look at this is this image here. Okay, so this is an interactive map that's really, really useful. Okay, it's on timeanddate.com. And in fact, I'm going to put this in the chat right here, and I'll switch the tab in a second here. So here is that for that. Should be in the chat there. And I'll create a banner for it. And there we go. Okay. I'm going to stop my slides here. So you're going to see my face. Stop screen. And I'm going to present a tab. Give me 1 second to get this here. Okay. So this is an interactive site. This is really good. I think you can see that. And I'll just put my face right in the corner there. Okay. So this is really useful, and it's going to demonstrate why you should be watching this, because Montreal, we're in a weird spot. I'll show you why. Okay. So this is a map. Okay. If you are anywhere in this colored zone, you are going to see part of the eclipse. So if you're way up here, you're going to see a little bit of the eclipse. Okay. If you're in, say, the South Atlantic Ocean, you're not going to get anything illustrated by this thing here. Okay. So if you get a little bit closer to this line here, okay, to this red line, the path of totality, the more you're going to see. So if you're up in Baker Lake, I guess you're going to get a little bit more, but not much. A little bit more here, a little bit more here, a little bit more here. Now I'm going to start zooming in here. Okay. So we can see that Mexico is in the path of totality, United States, okay, and some of Eastern Canada. And you see some cities here, Toronto, Ottawa. If we keep on zooming in, you're going to see Montreal. Quebec is outside of it. Okay, but I'll tap here again. Okay, if you are just north of Montreal, Dumoulin, you'll get about 95% of the path of eclipse. Okay, if you are in this pink zone here, okay, you will get 100%. So any place that is in this part is going to get 100%. The moon will stop, will fully block out the sun. Now, this is why it is so weird for Montreal. Okay, I'm going to zoom into Montreal. The map is going to change a little bit here. Zoom in. You can just see that Montreal is barely on the path of totality. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. The map is going to change display. Yeah. Okay, so this line right here, I think you should be able to see that. That is the limit of the path of totality. And almost hilariously, you can see that Montreal is the island is, most of it is in the path of totality, okay, but not all of it. And the eclipse totally avoids Laval. The jokes are, I know, I'm from Alberta originally, so I got to be careful what I say, okay? But I'll demonstrate this, okay? I'm going to click in sort of downtown Montreal right here. In downtown Montreal, you're going to get 100% of the show. Total solar eclipse, 100%. If you are in Laval right here, you're going to get 99.96%. God smiles down upon you, okay? So if you're in Laval, you're not going to get 100% of the show. Okay. Another thing to consider is the amount of time that you are going to experience totality. So the closer you are into the center of the path of totality, the longer the eclipse time you're going to get. So I'll demonstrate this. So if you are, say, near Sherbrooke, you are near we call it the center line. So I'm going to tap here. I'll show you how much eclipse time they get. They get about 2 minutes and 21 seconds or so. Okay, you can see that it's closer in to the eclipse path here. Okay, so around Sherbrooke, they're going to get, oh, sorry, 3 minutes. Sorry, I got that wrong. 3 minutes and 31 seconds. There we go. Yeah. So for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, the moon is going to fully block out the sun. Because Montreal is just on the edge of it, we're going to get less here. Okay, so I'm going to tap again on Montreal. We're going to get about 1 minute and 27 seconds, about a minute and a half of the moon fully blocking out the sun. So if you're in the old port, that's how much you can kind of expect. Okay, but if you're just on the bleeding edge here, if you're like right in, right here in Villeray, you can expect to get maybe 13 seconds if you're right on the edge. Okay, so I would be very, very careful where you are here. You want to get as kind of close or more south as you can there. So this map is really quite useful. Okay, good. I'm going to stop that tab. Maybe I'll come back. Let me stop sharing my screen and bring up my window again. There we go. So that's on timeanddate.com. I'm going to take that banner off. There we go. All right. Back to his slides. Okay. So I made an image, and maybe you've seen this online. I see it passed around a lot, which is kind of cool. Okay. This image here. If you're in the blue part, you'll get the full experience. Okay. You'll get the full show. If you're in the red part, you will not. You will not. So you got to make sure that on April 8th, you are in the blue part. And if you can get deeper into the blue part, the better for you. Okay, so in Montreal, we'll get a minute and a half. Sherbrooke, about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I can talk about, where's the best spot to see it and all that, but I'll do that in the question and answer period. Okay, so the question for you, are you in the path of totality? So you should really think about that, okay? Check this map. I put it into the chat there, but I'll paste it again soon. Okay, so what are we actually going to see on the day of the eclipse? What does it actually look like, and how do we actually see it? First thing you need eclipse glasses. And I'm not saying this to sell eclipse glasses, though, of course, that is always the MacGuffin here. Okay. You need eclipse glasses to see this. Okay. When you look at the sun through eclipse glasses, your eyes are protected and it looks like this. Okay. It darkens everything around and you can safely look at the sun. So get yourself some eclipse glasses. Here are the times. Again, I'm just going to reiterate this. On April 8th, the eclipse starts at 2:14 p.m. So the moon starts blocking out the sun. 3:26, the totality, and at 4:36, it all ends. I've made this video, okay, and I took a panorama in the plateau, and so I got some real landscape. So this is what it'll actually kind of look like. Okay, so in the video there, in a second, I'll animate that. This is what you're actually going to see if you're in the plateau. Okay, and in the top left here is a zoomed in of what you'll see from the sun and the moon. So I'm going to start playing this. Okay. So you need to, the other thing I'm going to point out here is in the top right, I put when you can have your eclipse glasses on and when you can take them off. Okay. So it's about 2:14, 2:30, and you can see the moon is blocking out some of the sun there. And if you didn't know a solar eclipse was actually happening, nothing would really appear different in the sky. Until about 3 p.m., 3:05 p.m. or so, it'll actually start getting visibly darker in the sky. The shadows will start looking weird, and there's going to be a very, very strange sort of light. Okay, it's almost like a 360-degree sunset around you. It's one of the most bizarre sunsets you've ever seen. We are about 5 minutes away from totality here, and you can see the moon is almost fully blocked out the sun. Okay. I've sped this up, but now totality is imminent, and I'm going to put it in real time, and this is what it's going to look like this. And here, you can take your glasses off. When the moon fully blocks it out, you can take it off, and you can enjoy the entire experience. Now, what you're going to see these the solar flares, the solar corona of the sun like that. Okay. I've actually never seen it. My fiance Natalie tells me it's the most incredible experience she's ever seen. It looks like a black hole in the sky with a ring around it. I'm excited to see this. A thing you will also notice, if it's clear, is two bright dots to the top left and bottom right. And the bottom right, that's the planet Venus. And the top left, you're going to see the planet Jupiter. Okay, so you're some other things to notice while this is going on. While this is going on, I think people are going to be tempted to try to like take a photo with their phone. Do it, but don't spend the entire time doing this. Okay, try to soak it in. Try to just take in the moment. Notice what's happening around you. It's really, really cool. I've made this animation if you're kind of like in the old port area, so this lasts about a minute and a half. But depending on where you are in Montreal, you're going to get, you can get 30 seconds totality, a minute. Okay, this is showing 90 seconds or so. Eventually, the moon keeps on moving, and bam, it's gone. And you got to put your solar eclipse glasses back on immediately. You'll sort of naturally know because it'll get very bright again, and you don't burn your eyes or anything like that. Okay. I sped it up here, and this is what it'll look like after the moon is done blocking it out. And that's the show. Like that's what people are getting excited for. This is what people travel thousands of kilometers and spend many, many thousands of dollars to go and see. I've traveled to Nunavut. I've traveled to Nashville to see it. It's been cloudy both times. So hopefully third time a charm in the place that I live. So this is just an animation, but this is kind of what you can expect to see. Now, I can only say this because people have told me it looks like this. I haven't seen it myself. Boy, am I excited. Okay, what if I'm in Laval? What if I'm not in the path of totality? What will this look like? Okay, Laval's going to get 99% totality. That's a lot of percent, It's basically night and day, okay? The cool thing about being in the path of totality, you can take your glasses off and really soak it in. If you're in Laval, you're going to see something more akin to this. Okay, you're getting close, getting kind of close, but you don't get that magical totality moment. Okay, if you're seeing some flashes there, that's just the animation software I'm using. You won't actually see flashes on the moon like that. So this is what it'll look like in Montreal. That's what it'll look like in Laval. Okay, so it is worth getting into Montreal to be able to see this. In Laval, you got to keep your glasses on the entire time. Okay. And so it is worth getting to the path of totality. Basically, it's really, really lucky that the eclipse is here. It's like in your backyard. You've basically been given a gift. Take the metro, get in your car. We can talk about what traffic is going to be like. Go and do this. Okay. Don't be in Laval. Period? No. Shut up, Trevor. Just stop making those jokes. They're too easy. Get to Montreal during that day. Don't be doing a client meeting in Laval on Monday, April 8th. Okay. Why is this so special? Okay, I'm gonna kind of end with this. I think I've almost ever done this. Sorry, I got distracted by a comment. Why is this so special? Why is this so special? Okay, here it is. Okay, we have the sun and we have the moon. Okay. And when we look at the sun and the moon in the sky, okay, they look almost the exact same size. You ever noticed that before? They look almost the exact same size, okay? And during a total solar eclipse, the moon blocks out the sun, okay? So the moon and the sun both appear the same size in the sky, okay? But are they the same size? Is the sun and the moon the same size? No, of course not. Of course they're not the same size, okay? The moon is really small compared to the sun. The sun is huge and the moon is very, very small, okay? But the thing is, the sun is very, very far away. The sun is very, very far away. And just the perfect amount of far away that they appear the exact same size in the sky. To me, this is the most unbelievable thing that it feels like we don't talk about as humans. And this only happens on Earth. Now you might think, okay, this probably happens on other planets, happens on Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. No, only on Earth does this happen. And I'll give you an example of this, okay? Mars has 2 moons, 2 small moons around it, okay? And we have some robots kicking around on Mars, okay? This happened, I think it's happened several times over the years. We've gotten footage of one of the moons of Mars making a eclipse, or in this case, a transit of the sun. Notice how that moon, that black part there, is only covering up some of the sun. It is not the same size as the sun on Mars or on Jupiter or on Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, okay? This only happens on Earth. Isn't that bizarre? To me, that's just insane that this is the only place. Not only that, this won't always be the case. Okay, we're in a lucky place, but we're in a lucky time too. I'll show you. So in the past, the moon was actually a bit closer to Earth, and so it appeared bigger. And the moon you could say it eclipses, but actually we use the word occult, and we wouldn't get the same effect that we do with them being the same size. So that's in the past. In the future, the moon is going to be slightly further away from the Earth, and it's not going to completely cover the Earth. And what we're going to get is just annular eclipses, which are still cool, but you don't get that really cool moment of totality like we do right now. So to me, this is unbelievable that the billions of years that the Earth has been around. Why did I say millions? Because I wrote it on my slide here. Billions of years the Earth has been around, and just a tiny little fraction that humans have been around. Humans happen to just be here at the exact right time, in the only planet in the solar system that can support life, that has creatures that can live here. And there's beings on the one planet this happens that can appreciate that fact. And to me, as a former religious person, I am kind of surprised that this isn't brought up more in religion. I'm kind of surprised there isn't like a quote in the Bible, a verse in the Bible that says like, oh, and on the 8th day, God made the moon just the right amount away from the Earth to be able for this to happen. Anyways, I could see how some people would almost see this as like a religious sort of thing. So I'm 3 minutes past what I said I was going to do. Okay, I'll quickly go through this. Montreal. We're in a weird location and time for all this. This is at the end of the school day. Laval's not going to get it. We might get a lot of traffic and all that. Here is what I kind of recommend. Don't sue me for this, okay? If you are a teacher at a school or you're on a school board, here's one way to look at this, okay? Do an event at the school, okay? Some school boards are sort of, I'm not going to say throwing their hands up, but they're just going to let the kids go out, okay? That's fine if you have parents that can take care of them during this part, but some kids aren't going to be able to. They're just going to be out on their own, okay? Do an event in your school. Start it at 2 p.m. At 2:14 p.m., the eclipse starts. Have the kids outside at that time. And let them run around or whatever. And at 3 p.m., get them watching the sunset. Get them watching what is sort of weird going on. What do the shadows look like? 3:26, make sure they all have eclipse glasses. Look at the eclipse, and they can take it off at the right time. And then at 3:30, you can send kids home. Okay? That's one way to do it. If you're a parent, maybe you want to take the day off. Be with your kids. This is going to be a very memorable moment. So maybe you want to be with your kids during this if you can do that. Okay. Again, 2 p.m., get outside. 2:14, wait for the moment when the moon starts eclipsing it. Watch. It'll take about an hour before it starts getting really dark. And then watch the eclipse together. 3:26. Again, you can take your glasses off at the right time. If you have a company, I say this kind of in a way to do some promo. I can help you sort of plan out what you want to do with your team, but here's maybe a sample. Do an event with your team, okay? Don't lock them inside. Don't have an all hands on deck meeting at 3:30 p.m. on Monday, April 8th. Shame on you. Shame on you. Here's another example. Get outside. Let them enjoy the April weather. I have no idea what it'll be like. Okay. 3 p.m. Make sure everybody's outside watching. There's going to be a lot of buzz. It's going to be very memorable here in Montreal. And at 3:26, that's the maximum eclipse. There's going to be some free events, some at Montreal Planetarium and at the Science Center in the Old Port. Okay. You could latch onto those as well. I'm not sure if they have to do signups or anything like that. Okay. Some recommended spots. Don't be in Laval. That's in red type. So that's, I'm serious about it. Okay. Genmonts Park in the Plateau would actually be a great spot to see this. It's wide open, and having a wide open part is really cool because then you get to see Jupiter and Venus. So that might be a good spot to do it. Being in the Old Port, it might be a little bit busy with the Science Center and a lot of people from downtown getting over there. So that's another option. And then just watch the weather. Okay. Because maybe you want to drive out to somewhere else in the path of totality on that morning. It might be a bit crazy, but that way. Okay, last thing. What if it's cloudy? I think somebody in the comments asked this. What if it's cloudy? The first eclipse that I went to, I traveled all the way to Nunavut, and it was completely cloudy. But it was still, honestly, one of the coolest experiences ever. If it is cloudy that day, you can't use the eclipse glasses because the sun is totally blocked. But at about 10 or 15 minutes before the eclipse, it'll start to get visibly darker. It's weird. It's weird. It's like it's nighttime. And at 3:26 p.m., it will get as dark as it is kind of right now. It might be a bit of a strange sort of darkness, maybe not exactly like this, but it will be memorable, even if it is cloudy. So if it's cloudy, it's still worth doing something on that day. It's not a total bummer. In fact, I would kind of set your expectations for it to be kind of cloudy, and anything else is gravy. How did we come up with that phrase? Is gravy. Okay, that is kind of all I have. So I'm free to take some questions. You have to give me a moment to sort of look through and see what people are saying. I think I'm only 7 minutes off. Okay, sorry, I took a little bit of time. But you are free to go. But if you have questions, this is the time. I'm going to answer some of your questions. So I'm going to bring these up. I'm just going to go through some of the chat here. Sound was good. So stoked for this cataclysmic event. Yes, cataclysmic. What cost for the glasses? Yeah, so I sell Eclipse glasses. I'm just going to remove that. I sell them for $6 each for single pairs. And then the price gets lower and lower and lower as you buy more. So maybe buying a 5-pack, that seems to be the most popular. It ends up being what, $5.50 each, I think. Okay. Yeah, so you can buy for me. Yeah, that's the cost. Oh, hey, look at that. This is why you have your fiance in the chat. Okay. Wait, put that slide back. Which slide? I'll have to see. Okay. It is. I'll be in break at work, so I'll try to see. Hope it's not going to be cloudy. Absolutely. Somebody's taking the day off. That's a good call. Can't wait. 8 avril, definitely in your agenda. And thank you for your email, Martin. Can you still keep the glasses on when you don't have to? You totally can keep the glasses on, but it'll just go kind of, you won't really see anything. So during totality, and there are, I think Eclipse Quebec, if I'm correct, actually made a dedicated app it'll sort of be a guided tour as the event goes on. I don't have the link for it right now. Basically, you'd have the app and it'll say, hey, the eclipse has started. And then it'll show you what it'll actually all look like. And then the path at the moment of totality, it'll tell you, okay, you can remove your glasses. And then you can you can take it off. And then it'll tell you when to put them back on. Now I say this as a person who has never seen one, like the path, because it was cloudy. My sense is that like you would have sort of a natural like, oh, okay, it's gotten completely dark. And then I can take the glasses off and it looks awesome. And then when it gets bright again, you put them back on. That's my sense. Insane. Absolutely. When the solar corona appears, is it dangerous to look at it through binoculars? Okay, great question. Yeah. Yeah, I recommend not doing any binoculars or telescope stuff unless you really, really know what you're doing. So let me just get a filter. So you can take photos of the sun through a telescope or a camera, but you need the right equipment, and you got to make sure you're not doing it the incorrect way. So I'm just going to go off camera for just one sec. Okay, so if you go to there's a store in Montreal called Maison d'Astronomie, House of Astronomy, just like House of Prime Rib, except not Prime Rib. It's astronomy, and you can buy dedicated solar filters for your camera and for your telescope. So they look like this. It almost looks like a mirror. In fact, you can see what my setup all looks like. Okay, you put this on the front of your camera or your telescope, and then you can look through it and take photos safely. What you don't do, don't do this, and please don't do it. Don't point your camera with nothing on it, or binoculars or a telescope, and then put on your Eclipse glasses and look through it. No. You need to have the filter on first on your camera lens or your telescope lens, and then you can safely look at it. You can't use the Eclipse glasses with your telescope or your camera or your binoculars. So don't have your Eclipse glasses on and then your binoculars like that, because the light going through the binoculars is going to be hyper focused, and it's just going to burn a hole right through the Eclipse glasses. In fact, I'll just grab a pair of Eclipse glasses right now. Okay. Just to illustrate, you can't have your Eclipse glasses on and then binoculars. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to have dedicated filters for that. So kind of only do that if you know what you're doing. So that's a good question. If cloudy, if it's cloudy, it's still going to be a heck of a show. It'll be a very strange, bizarre, almost horror movie-like experience. So 90%, that's a lot of percent. Indeed. You can't really go much higher than that until you start getting to decimal points. Ever. Small, far away. Please let there be no clouds. Yes. So that's actually, okay, that's a good point. It's going to be in April. And if you look at that map that I showed before, that interactive map, when you click on it, it gives you a historical, Farmer's Almanac? I don't know, of what has the cloud cover been like on that day usually. Right now, it says about 67%. So there's basically like a 1 in 3 chance that it's going to be clear. Now, I think I've been taking photos of what April 8th has been looking like the last few years. Last year, I think it was clear. The year before that, it was clear. The year before that, I think it was clear. We've had a good string of April 8ths that have been clear. With the caveat that last year, I think the day or two after, it was like the ice storm. So who knows what's going to happen? So we'll see. There is hope. How much time is this happening? Like the same size? Yeah, I think the question is for how long will the moon appear the same size in the sky? It's on the order of like hundreds of millions of years, I believe. So in our life, the next eclipse is not going to be the last time. This is going to be the last time where this happens. The last eclipse that did happen in October, that was a ring of fire eclipse. So the sun was here, and the moon was a little bit further away from Earth, and it appeared just a bit smaller than the sun did in the sky. So for that eclipse, you would need to have Eclipse glasses on the entire time, and it just looks like a ring. We call it a ring of fire eclipse, an annular eclipse. And basically that's what the most eclipse will get in 100 million years or so. But you're lucky to be alive right now and see it the way we do. Definitely worth it. Oh, yes. Some people are already answering this in the. What is the speed of the shadow? That is a really great question. I don't know. And I think they're referring to, if I could show my, I'm just going to try to bring up my slides here. I will show this. Dun, dun, dun. Give me a moment to bring this up. Share screen, window. Okay. So this here, I'll make this full screen. Okay. The speed of this shadow. Okay. Now, obviously, I've sped this up, but I wonder what the speed of that is. That's actually probably a fun trigonometry question. I don't know, but that's a good question. Okay. Let's remove that. Okay. When it goes to totality, is that what they call the ring of fire? So ring of fire is when it's an annular eclipse. That is when the moon is slightly further away from Earth, and you get sort of just that ring effect. This one is not a ring of fire eclipse. This is a total eclipse, and so we'll get to see the solar flares and all that. The Montreal Aquarium will not be at the planetarium, but it'll actually be in Parc Jean Drapeau. That's a good point. Yeah. So the I didn't know that. Hey, I'm learning things on my own show here. Yeah. So the Parc Jean Drapeau is closer into the path of totality. So they'll actually get probably about a minute and a half. If they were to do it at the planetarium, they might only get honestly 20 to 30 seconds. So good on the jackals at the planetarium. The jackals. What are you saying, Trevor? Oh, here we go. The shadow travels at 2150 miles per hour. I don't know if that's right. Maybe, but it was the first thing I saw. Thanks, Trevor. Are your glasses the kind which give a red/orange hue or a bluish white heated sun? Which one is the true color? That's a good question. Yeah. So mine give a more orangey type of hue to it. I have another type of filter that I got myself and that I built myself, and it uses a different material, and you get sort of the sun just look kind of white, and it's okay. It's just you kind of just associate the sun with being kind of orangey yellow. This one I prefer because you look at it and you know what you're looking at. You're looking at the sun. When I've shown people the sun with the other filter, they're like, "What am I looking at?" It's kind of confusing. But you show them the sun with this type of filter, they're like, "Oh, that's the sun. Yeah, cool." It's a different way to do it. Chris, you're heading to Eastern Townships. Okay. Is it safe to wear eclipse glasses over my seeing eyeglasses? Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So you can do that. Yeah. Yeah. So you can go like this. You can wear your normal glasses and then go like this. That part is safe, but you can't do this with like binoculars. And the reason for that is like your eyeglasses don't like focus the light like maybe a magnifying glass does. Or if it does magnify, it's like not very, very much. I'm not an opticianometrist or anything. So yeah. Yep. So you can use that. Where and what will you be doing for the eclipse? Funny you mentioned that because I put that in my slides. Yeah. I it's still a little bit up in the air. I want to okay, this is actually a great question. I've been to 2 eclipses before and I've gone on my own. This one I want to be with my loved ones. I want to, be with my fiance and stuff like that. So I could have taken our car and driven to Sherbrooke and gotten 3.5 minutes. I've chosen purposely not to because I want to be with people, the people that I want to be with. So we're going to be together at an event, not like an exclusive event. I just don't know the details of it. So I just want to say it out loud is all. But we're going to be in Montreal. Yeah, we'll probably get about a minute and 10, 15 seconds to totality. Yeah. How many minutes will be dark if viewing from Genmon's Park? Probably about a minute 30, but let's go see. Let's share this tab here. Okay. Genmon's Park is right here. Oh, you probably can't see. Oh, you can see it there. 1 minute and 16 seconds. Yeah. 1 minute and 16. So that's pretty good. Not too bad. Some people might be tempted to go to the lookout overlooking downtown. That's not a bad spot, but you're not going to be looking this way. You're going to be looking the other way, the opposite of downtown. So maybe going to the Belvedere Outremont, which is here, which looks west. That might be a really cool spot to go and see it. Okay. Thanks for this useful, very informative. Can't wait to see it. A friend offered their rooftop to watch. It's at Saint Denis and Rochelle. Does that seem like a good spot to watch? Saint Denis and Rochelle. Let's do this one more time. Saint Denis and Rochelle. Saint Denis and Rochelle. Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, you'll get about a minute and 13 there. So yeah, and the cool part about doing it at if it's a rooftop, you'll really get to see that sort of 360-degree sunset. Now, I don't know how high this rooftop is. I don't know. Saint Denis and Rochelle. Where might that be? Anyways, the higher up you are, you'll get to notice sort of that more 360 degree sunset. So that'll be a cool place. If cloudy, are you going other places to try and see it? I'll see. Again, I said I wanted to be with my loved ones, so we'll see. But I probably just stay here. The thing about it too is it's like a total solar eclipse in my lifetime coming over to Montreal. This is only going to happen once in my lifetime. I'm probably going to go to travel to see other total solar eclipses like I have before. So to me, it's more the specialness of like being in Montreal, the place that has welcomed me very openly, and being present in the city that I really love. So I've chosen here to stay. Always awesome, Trevor. Always nice to hear from you. Will Park Montreal be a good place to watch the eclipse? That, I said before that could be, if you're going to the Belvedere Condirant, the one overlooks downtown. That might not be bad, but you will be the Belvedere Condirant. Man, now you can tell he needs water. Looks out east, and the eclipse will be the other side. It'll be kind of in the southwest. It also might be freaking crazy busy getting up to Montreal. Honestly, I would try to prioritize getting to a place you can get to easily, and that's not going to be super crowded. You know what would suck is it being 3:20 p.m. and there's a bunch of people going up the staircase. That's probably going to happen. I would avoid that, or get there, get to the top if you're going to go there. Get there at like 1:30 p.m. Honestly, get there as soon as you can, because it might be absolute chaos up there. So be smart about what you're going to be doing. You'll fry your sensor cam without it. Yep. So be careful about that. Took the day off. Good. Yes. Can we take photos without the special lens? No, you need the special lens. You can send me a message and I can send you a link to proper place in Montreal. And they'll hook you up. Help you up good. As a former religious person, is there any possibility that this might just be Armageddon? 1%. No, we're good. We're good. Okay. In which program will we see the totality of eclipse by places? By places. So a few different programs. So if you're looking to sort of find out the where on the map, this, I'm going to put the banner up again here. This right here is a map that shows, you can click anywhere on the map and you can see how much totality it's going to get, how much eclipse time it's going to get, all of that information. If you want a sort of a visualizer tool of this, there's a program called Stellarium, which is free, and it's an app. But there's also a website called Stellarium Web, okay? And it's basically a tool that you can use to simulate what it's going to look like. So I'm going to put this into the chat to start, okay? And you don't need to download anything. You can just use it in your browser. I'll also put this in a banner. Okay. And you can simulate, you can put the right time, put the right location, and you can simulate it there. You can try what it'll look like at 3:26 p.m. there and simulate it and zoom in and take a look at it. How about the West Island? Yeah, the West Island, I think, is in the clear. Most of it. It will only get a couple of seconds, maybe 30 to 45 seconds or so, but it should be good. My recommendation, honestly, is like get as much into the, shall we say, blue part as you can. So I'll demonstrate this. Let me stop that here, and I'll show another visual, which is kind of neat. Let's play that. Give me just one moment to get this set up. Share screen, window. Okay, so here is the eclipse map. Okay, and you can see the West Island is actually, most of the West Island is good. I'm just going to take your comment off there and this off. So most of West Island is actually pretty good, except for this part right here. Okay. So yeah, so this part of Montreal, like the northeast part, not too good. This part, okay, and this part, not too good. Here's a funny thing as I was doing this. So this is this year's eclipse. Okay, so you have to be in the blue part to be able to see this. As I mentioned before, the last time we had a solar eclipse, total solar eclipse in Montreal was the year 1932. And I was like, what did the eclipse map look like for that one? It looked like this. It also ran through the middle, even more in the middle, halfway through Montreal. And so if it's like this particular part of Laval, eclipses just try to avoid it altogether. In fact, I made another map showing what it looks like. It's if you were here both times, you're good. If you're here both times, you don't get the eclipse. So that's I found that really quite hilarious. Okay. If we buy the eclipses online, do you have recommendations for what to look for in real eclipses that are safe and not a ripoff? Yeah. Okay. So this, I'll say this outright, just for people's safety. My eclipse glasses, I got them from a supplier in the States called Real American Optics, Real Paper Optics. If I can find the name. I've used them I bought them in 2020, and then I've done another round of eclipse glasses. You're looking for a certain number. It should say ISO 12312-2. And that's just a type of designation that they give certain filters. Mine shipped with, it's like a not a certificate really, but just it explains who saw it, how they test it, and everything like that, so that I can kind of trust. Unfortunately, I think what is kind of happening is some suppliers are putting false ISO certifications on their eclipse glasses. So you kind of gotta be careful. If I say this not to be a money grab person, but if you want for sure safe eclipse glasses, you can get them from me. I'm sure every other reseller that's selling fake ones will also do the same thing to you. But I can assure you, if you buy them from me, and I'll put the banner up here, you can trust that they're good. So that's kind of the best information I can give you. You could also probably ask if you need to get a bulk order from some place, like, hey, can you show me that these have been certified from like a independent supplier? I don't know how the certification process works, but mine did come with saying who signed it and all that. So I've trusted that, and I've used them for years now, and they've been really good. Other questions here. Where can we buy eclipse glasses to save or watch the eclipse? Yep, I just put them up there. PlateauAstro.com/shop. I ship them out. Yep, it helps support me, so that's really good. Oh, Natalie also says, here's a reliable source to look for the correct certification. Yeah. So that'll also help you too. Anything else? I think that might be it. Yeah. So the South Shore is good. If you're there, that's good. If you're in Laval, you're not. No, you gotta be on the island of Montreal to be able to see it. Okay. Did I have any other things here? What if I'm on the eclipse line? Somebody asked this. What if you are? And I'm just going to take this off. What if you're like right on the line? Okay. What if you're like right here? What would you see? What you might get is maybe a second or two of totality. You're not going to get, and I could see why some people would think this. Am I going to get the full eclipse and the partial at the same time? It doesn't work that. It doesn't work that way. It's not a two-faced sort of thing. It's not the Janus of an eclipse. You're probably not going to get much eclipse time at all. So don't try to be clever. Don't try to be contrarian and say, I'm going to go to the line here, to this line here. Go in about as deep as you can. Okay. And so, yeah, I would recommend being like in like the old port, or even like the South Shore, or if you want to even go further in, like Eastern Townships, that would be my recommendation. Just know that it's going to be kind of a busy, chaotic day, I think, with traffic here. How long will be dark in Sherbrooke? About 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Yep. Cosmic Teapot, I'll buy glasses from you. If I can pronounce it, then they'll actually buy glasses from me. I'll buy glasses from you purely to encourage what you're doing. We're looking to have your very own Neil deGrasse Tyson in Montreal. Thank you for this compliment. I can't match that. I can't match that. Oratory St. Joseph. Hey, yeah, that actually might be a good spot too to watch them. You'll get about a minute or so there, but that could be the steps there might actually be really good. And let's say it is Armageddon, you're probably in a safe spot there, being right beside the oratory. Okay. I'm just going to check if there were any comments from Instagram, but I don't think maybe the live stream may have crapped out there, but okay. All right. At tip of Verdun, we'll get 2 minutes actually, I think. Oh, okay. So if you're in Verdun, you can go there. That's it. LaSalle. This is where the limit of my Montreal neighborhood knowledge comes. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I'll just put one last little bit here. There. What if I'm in the Eclipse line? What will I be doing? I mentioned that. Last little bit of promo. I have a mobile planetarium, and I'm really excited to be offering this in schools. This is what it looks like. Okay, it holds about 20 to 25 kids. Okay, adults about 10 or 15. You sit down or lay down on the floor. It's a fun experience. So I put on shows about the solar system. We fly around literally with a PlayStation controller to go around the solar system. We can go around the planets. We can go outside our solar system, look at different galaxies, look at black holes. Super fun. I do a show talking all about the night sky and constellations and different constellation cultures, not just the Western ones. And yeah, I'm just going to take that off. Okay. And so I'm also doing a solar, I guess I spelled it wrong, solar eclipse presentation in the planetarium. So if you know a school that wants to do something special for the eclipse, hire me to give a presentation in the planetarium. You don't have to go and drive to the planetarium. I can bring it right to you. Just give me a gymnasium and some power outlets, and it'll be good. So yeah, I'm going to platoastro.com/planetarium. I think the URL is there, but just go to the site. You'll see it in the main menu there. I also do just normal presentations, contacting a weather satellite, space station, Earth Moon scale model, plane spotting, scale model, solar system, all sorts of really fun stuff. So especially if you are maybe looking to summer camps, hire me for this too. I'm getting a little bit more booked for now in springtime, but summer I've still got lots of space open. So if you want to support me, you can buy some Eclipse glasses. I mentioned this before. Go to plateau.com/shop. You can buy craft singles or craft bulk packs of them. Patreon, hey, that helps me too. You can buy me a coffee. I put those links in the description below, and you subscribe. My gosh, he's spitting everywhere. Okay. Thanks so much for watching and supporting Plateau Astro. I am at 59 minutes and 36 seconds. I'm just underneath an hour. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm going to sign off. So thank you again. April 8th. Make sure you have a plan. Stick to it. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.